Hello everyone, what a beautiful day that the Lord has made. We are so excited today because God has brought us together to a very important time, and we are here in Folkestone, yeah, in the UK, and very close to Dover, in the home of Pastor Ron Esk. Pastor Ron Esk has been a pastor of Sureway International Christian Ministries, and also we are here with the current pastor of Sureway International Christian Ministries London, Pastor Steve Armour. So this is a beautiful day, and I'm going to just start asking them, because some of the things that you're going to hear today are going to bless you. So let's start with Pastor Ron. Pastor Ron,
yes, sir.
May God bless you for what you've done for the kingdom of God.
Thank you.
Amen. And Pastor Steve, welcome to the program.
That's
Amen.
right.
Pastor Ron, there are a lot of people who are watching today who are starting ministry and at their beginning. What will you say to them this morning?
Yes, that's a very, very good question, because when I started in ministry, I literally didn't know anything. I was plunged into the deep end, and it was just as though God was saying to me, you've got to swim whether you like it or not. And the way that he provided for us, for me, was exceptionally well, because I was working as an electrician and trying to be fulfilling my responsibilities as a pastor at the same time. And I do believe that that is not a bad thing when you are obliged to do that, if you are prepared to give yourself to the ministry and also to a job, even if it's a part-time job, because sometimes the churches are not always in a position to be able to support you. And if you are doing this for God, then you're doing it for God. And you don't, he's the one who's going to, he said, let the labourer who's worthy of his hire, you know, he's the one that's going to supply our needs, as he did in my case, much well before I ever came into the ministry. If I can just slip this one in, one of the things that God did when I was just around about 23 or so, he gave us a house from an unsaved man who we'd never seen before, we've never seen since. Wow. And the way that it happened was absolutely amazing. And when you think that this guy told us to go and find a house in 1953 for £2,000 and he would buy it for us, that took my breath away. But did I realise that this was the provision of God for, ultimately, when I got into the ministry, I was not going to be able to afford to buy my own house and pay a mortgage and or even rent, etc. I mean, all these things become the obvious things that you've got to find, and a church must never underestimate the value of a pastor. And I'm saying this to any young men, that or women, if it comes to that are going into ministry. Yes, you've got to trust God, but people have got to honour you at the same time. There is two words in the English language that are very common to each other. One is dedication and the other is commitment. But I think if we analyse this, and the way that I have put it in proportion is, one, your first dedication must be to God. Your second dedication must be to your family. Now, this has not been the case. Often it's been my case. You always put the work of God first, the work of God, and often the families suffer because of you giving yourself to the work of God. You have to give yourself to the work of God. But I'm telling you that when you put your family first after committing yourself to God, then you are sure to give the right example in the church.
Amen. Amen.
And then the church is the second aspect of your dedication. And fourthly, and necessarily, the pastor. You have to give your dedication to the pastor. So it's something that you cannot